After driving to a riverfront parking lot, Bob plans to run south. So the directions can be taken as east, west, north, south. And then turn around and return to the parking lot. Okay, the question is talking about only north and south, so it doesn't matter where we take the north and south. We can rotate the compass and take the north towards the east. So Bob plans to run south along the river, goes south. Let's say we have south here, we have north here. So turn around and return to the parking lot. Here we have the parking lot. So he turns around and returns to the parking lot running north along the same path. After 3.25 miles south, he decides to run for only 50 minutes more. If Bob runs at a constant speed of 8 minutes per mile, how many miles south can he run and still be able to return to the parking lot in 50 minutes? Okay, so after running 3.25 miles south, so he has run 3.25 miles. Let's assume that till this part, the distance is 3.25 miles. So he decides to go to some more distance south and then come back to the parking lot. But understand one thing, that the time that he's taking to travel this distance is 50 minutes, because he is left with only 50 minutes and he has to make this entire trip and wants to come back to the parking lot. Now, Bob runs at a constant speed of 8 minutes per mile. So the speed of 8, at a rate of 8 minutes per mile. So we can say 1/8 mile per minute. 8 minutes per mile is the speed. Please pay attention to the unit. This is really important. It is not 8 miles per minute. It is 8 minutes per mile. So actually the speed will be equal to 1/8 mile per minute. And if we were to convert this into hours, we can multiply this by 60, because 1 minute has 1 by 60 minutes. So that becomes 60/8, and 15 by 2, that means 7.5 miles per hour. That's the speed. How many miles far south can he run and still be able to return to the parking lot in 50 minutes? So we have to find out that what is this distance. Alright, so let's quickly answer this question. Now the total distance that he has to travel after he knows that he has 50 minutes is d plus 3.25. Understand, this entire distance becomes d plus 3.25. So at this point, when he's at this point, then he decides to go d distance further south and then come back, and he has this entire distance to travel. So the total distance that he has to travel is equal to this, and the total time that he is left with now is 50 minutes, which is 50 divided by 60 hours. Now we just simply have to use this because his speed is already known. So his speed 7.5 is equal to the total distance, which is d plus 3.25 divided by the total time, and the total time is 50/60, which can also be written as 5/6. So now we just have to simplify this. 7.5, for the sake of calculations and ease of calculations, I'm writing it 15/2. 6 goes in the numerator, the denominator still has 5 left, and this becomes 2d plus 3.25. Now we can cross multiply this equation, and finally we get 15 multiplied by 5, that is 75, is equal to 2 into 6 is 12. 12 into 2d is 24d plus 12 multiplied by 3.25. Now let's quickly simplify this. So we have 24d is equal to 75 minus 12 into 3, 36. 12 into 0.25 is 3. So we have to remove 39 out of it. If 40 removed, we are left with 35. So we have 36. That means d is equal to 36/24. That means 3/2 miles. That means he can only go 1.5 miles south, and 1.5 miles is available as option A. So option A becomes our answer. I hope that explains. Let me once again go over the process. So he starts from the parking lot, he is going towards south. After traveling 3.25 miles, he decides to go a little more south further and then come back to the parking lot, but he has only 50 minutes to travel this entire distance, which is represented here in orange. So, and his speed has been given as 8 minutes per mile. So his actual speed becomes 1 over 8 mile per minute, that we have converted into miles per hour by multiplying it by 60. So that is 7.5 miles per hour. Now we know that the total distance that he has to travel in the remaining 50 minutes is this distance d plus this entire distance, which is d plus 3.25. So d plus 3.25 is the total distance, and the total time he is left with 5.6 hours. So we are just simply using the basic principle, that is speed is equal to distance over time. So we have taken the total distance is equal to d plus 3.25, and the total time that he is left with is 5 over 6 hours. So we have just simplified this equation, and that gives us that the d distance is equal to 1.5. So he can go only 1.5 miles further south, and that's what the question is asking. So that becomes our answer. Thank you so much for watching this video.